Hey everybody, Benjamin Cack with Cack Legal here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about merchant cash advances, also known as MCA loans. And what these are is these are predatory loans designed to prey on desperate small business owners who are in dire financial straits, struggling, not always, but usually. You're in a situation where you need money to pay payroll for your company or whatever it is you need money for, having trouble getting a bank loan, credit cards are maxed out, whatever the case may be. And somehow, some way, you find information on one of these MCA lenders, whether it be online, they may have sent you something in the mail, and it seems on the surface to be a lifeline, but actually, what it is, instead of a lifesaver being thrown to you, that lifesaver is tied to a concrete block that is going to drag you down much, much faster than you would have been without it. These are, you're basically guaranteeing that your business, not only that your business will be filing for bankruptcy soon or shutting down very soon, also you could be signing up for personal liability that you didn't have previously. So, what are merchant cash advances? They're basically payday loans for small business owners. But the way these lenders present them to you it's very sneaky. It's very tricky. The most common way they do this is they pretend to be accounts receivable factoring companies. So they will present this to you as you will be selling them your accounts receivable, and they're going to you some money that you so desperately need, and you're supposedly selling them your accounts receivable. And the way they design their documents, it's very misleading. So, for example, you can see what appears to be some loan disclosures on the front. It may see percentage recovery rate 9% or something like that. And if you're not paying attention, you might look at that and say, oh, 9% interest rate. Well, that seems pretty reasonable. That is not an interest rate. In fact, that number is basically meaningless. If you actually do the math on a lot of these MCA loans, the actual interest rate on these loans sometimes is 200 or 300%. It's absolutely insane, but it doesn't say that anywhere in the documents. You have to actually figure out and do the math. So, for example, you might have an MCA loan where they're agreeing to advance you $50,000. Great. And then it says, oh, they're going to purchase your accounts receivable. Of course, they don't ask which accounts receivable. You never get them a list. You don't have to, which is odd because an actual accounts receivable factoring company will want to know what receivables exist. What is it that they're purchasing? MCA lender, they don't really care about that because they're not actually purchasing any receivables. They're just pretending to. So you may have an MCA lender who's going to give you $50,000 and you have to repay them $75,000. That's a 50% interest rate, and they want it in 6 months or 90 days. Well, guess what? Now that 50% interest rate is, 200%, right? If you actually stop and do the math and think about it as a loan and not a purchase of accounts receivable, which it is definitely not. So, telltale factors of an MCA. Number one, very limited due diligence and information that they require. Number two, they are presenting themselves as accounts receivable factoring companies. Sometimes you might see it as a working capital loan or something like that, but it's nowhere, you won't see an actual interest rate disclosed anywhere. That should be a telltale sign. And the most important one of all, the way almost every single MCA lender is going to want to do regular, at least weekly, if not daily, automatic withdrawals from your bank account. If you ever have a lender that wants to do daily or weekly withdrawals from your bank account to pay back their loan, their account factoring agreement, whatever the case may be, don't walk, run. You should absolutely never, ever, ever sign up to do a loan where the lender is deducting money out of your bank account every day, because that money's all going to be gone. You cannot afford to pay 200% interest. Nobody can. That is loan shark material. It's on the fringes of the law, and you only have the rights that you enforce. Certainly, there's usury laws available in various states that could be available to you. Something worth taking a look at. The problem is that when these MCA lenders are draining your bank account with these daily and weekly withdrawals, if you wait too long to talk to an attorney, it's going to be too late. I got to tell you, the vast majority of my clients just wait way too long before talking to an attorney. The best time to talk to an attorney is, number one, before you take out a loan like that. Obviously, there's some sort of financial circumstances that you're dealing with that your best bet would be to talk to an attorney immediately and know what your options are. So that's the problem with these MCA lenders, is they're basically vultures. Once you get on that MCA hamster wheel, you're never getting off. I've seen clients who get one MCA loan after another, and they will continue giving you money until there's no more money to give. They're vultures is what they are. They see that you're in a position where you're desperate, and they know that they're going to get paid back in at least the principal. And a 90-day loan, if they're making 200% interest, as long as they can get their payments back in that first 30, 60 days, the rest is just gravy, right? Not only that, if your business runs out of money, because that's what's going to happen, sooner or later, the MCA is going to go and try to do that daily deduction from your bank account, and there's not going to be any money. Not only is there not money to pay them, now you can't pay payroll because they took all the money. Now your business is just dead. You don't have any money, can't afford to hire an attorney, so you have really no options at this point, because unfortunately things got too far along. You fell victim to these predators. And what's going to happen next, as soon as the money's gone, what are they going to do? They're going to sue your company and immediately try to get a judgment, usually in New York or Pennsylvania, where they have these confessions of judgment that allow them to not even have to go to court. They can immediately get a judgment that says, okay, we have the ability to come put a lien on all of your assets. And you probably also signed a personal guarantee. I've seen clients who have granted a lien on their house to MCA creditors. You just took a business debt and converted that into a personal debt by signing this personal guarantee, and you just gave them a lien on your home, where if you had done nothing, you would still have a bunch of equity in your house. Now you have a predatory lender who has a lien on your house and the ability to foreclose on you. I mean, this is scary, scary stuff. You should absolutely never take out an MCA loan under any circumstances. If you're even considering it, you absolutely should talk to an attorney. I got to tell you, every time I see a client who's got MCA loans, I think, God, I wish I could have found them before the MCA lenders found them. And next best thing is immediately afterwards. Like if you just took out an MCA loan, if you're watching this right now and you're like, oh no, I think that might be me, you need to contact an attorney immediately, because you are going to have big, big problems really, really soon. So don't mean to be alarmist, but this is alarming stuff. Almost nobody gets off the MCA hamster wheel. As soon as you take an MCA loan out, your business is going to be over soon, unless you speak to an attorney specialized in Chapter 11 in particular, to figure out how do you reorganize, how do you do this, how do you deal with this. There's a lot of tools we've got to deal with these MCA creditors, and particularly in Chapter 11. But the key is you cannot wait. You need to contact an attorney immediately. So would love to get you in here and talk about your situation.